Hi again, and welcome to thecreditjungle.com. This is George Anderson, and I wanted to talk again today about some more practical applications where we can use option agreements or a lease option contract to help people get into a home. And sometimes it's not for the person who doesn't have good credit and not much money down. Let me share an example that I had recently, and I've probably done 3 transactions this year that was almost the exact same scenario. I had some people that found a great home that they wanted to purchase, and they weren't quite ready to sell the home that they were in yet. And they were able to go and get a home equity line of credit for most of the down payment, but in the most recent one, the amount of money that the bank was willing to give to them based on their equity was just a little bit short of 20% down on the new home. Well, it was important to them that they didn't have mortgage insurance. And they also wanted to have a renter, a good renter into their house. And I said, well, one of the things that you can do is advertise your house for rent as a lease option. Now, the nice thing about a lease option agreement, it's a contractual agreement that the renter who is buying it, they have they have the right to purchase that home at a fixed sales price for some certain period of time. You can find these agreements online and whatnot. But if you ever have to enforce a lease option agreement, I would recommend that you work with Jax Petty at First Liberty Title. He's an attorney that I've worked with for over a decade now, and if you have the attorney enforcing the contract who drafted the contract, it's going to be a much better scenario for you. And then we're also going to be teaching some classes coming up here with a good friend of mine, David Kenny, who has been a real estate broker for 38 years. And he uses these all the time with different investment strategies, and so you'll be getting some more on that. But back to this example. So these people were $10,000, $15,000 short of what they needed for the 20% down on the home that they were purchasing. And they had borrowed what they could from a home equity line of credit. So by advertising their home for a lease option, here's the great thing that happened on this. They found somebody that was in their neighborhood that wanted to buy a house right in that neighborhood. And they had $20,000 to put down for the lease option, and they were willing to pay fair market rent. So here's the 2 problems that solved for the people who are going into their next home. First of all, that $20,000 that they're receiving as a lease option, that is considered sourced and seasoned funds. That is a perfectly acceptable source of funds to add to the down payment they already had from their home equity line of credit. So now they had their 20% down. But the lease agreement that those people were signing also was going to offset the underlying mortgage payment that they were still had in their name as they were moving out of this house. So it helped with their debt to income ratios on getting into the next house, and it also got them their down payment for the next house. So this case, the lease option agreement actually benefited the person that was trading up and getting into a larger home because this home was no longer suiting their needs. But it also was a great deal for the person, one of the people in the neighborhood who wanted to live in that neighborhood, who couldn't qualify for the loan right now, but they had some money that they could put down, and they knew that they were in that house and they were more than happy to pay fair market rent and to have that deposit count towards the purchase price of the future time when they would qualify. So just one more great example about how lease options and some of these other seller financing tricks that we're teaching can help people get into homes. And in this case, 2 different families each getting into the home that they wanted. So thanks again for visiting thecreditjungle.com, and we'll see you soon.